We're asked to graph a line given the slope -1/3 and the y-intercept 3. And this is actually a very convenient format to use to graph an equation of a line. So with this information, I am going to actually get this started. So I'm going to do a sketch here. So I'll draw my XY axis. And I'm just going to label some numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's a sketch because it's not going to be perfectly drawn out and equally spaced, but imagine these are evenly spaced out. Now, you can see here the y-intercept is the first thing you want to start with. What the y-intercept is telling you is that on your y-axis, the graph of this line is going to pass through the number 3. So you look for the number 3 on the y-axis, you put a point there. We know that our graph is going to pass through this number here. Y is 3. Now, from this point, so again, this is the y-intercept, it's the location on the y-axis. And now from this point, the slope is going to tell you where to get your second point. Slope, by definition, is a ratio of two numbers, the change in y and the change in x. You might also see it as rise over run. And another way to think of it, if you want to be more visual, is that the change in y controls the vertical movement, the change in x controls the horizontal movement. And as a little additional tool you could put, if you're going to go up if it's a positive y value, down if it's a negative, and same idea here, left if it's negative, right if it's positive. Going back to the slope, it's -1/3. So when you're graphing with a negative number, you can make it either -1/3, or you can use the slope 1/-3. Each one is okay because you will end up with the same graph, and I'll show you that in this case here. As I mentioned earlier, right, in this case up here, let's look at this one first. The top number, the numerator, is the change in the y values. It's a negative number, which means it's telling me to go down 1. So this is instructions to go down 1. Right, it's a negative number. Negative means to go down because, again, the y controls the vertical movement. The x controls the horizontal movement. So this is a +3 because there's no sign there. I know it's a +3, and that's telling me to go right 3 units. So now I'm actually ready to graph. So once you have your y-intercept, the first thing you want to do is put that y-intercept down. And from there, from this location, not from here, because a common mistake you might do is to start here. Always start with the y-intercept. At that location, you're going to go down 1, right 3. So from here, I go down 1, right 3, put my second point. And then now we have our 2 points, and we can draw our line that passes through those 2 points. So this is the graph of the line with a slope of -1/3 and y-intercept +3. Now, you may be thinking too, like, in this case, if I would have did it with the top positive and the bottom negative, how does that affect it? So let's just write down the instructions again. So in this case, you can see here, this is a positive number. So let me just fill that in. This is a positive. And a positive number, this is, again, the y is a vertical movement. So positive means to go up. So this is saying to go up 1. And then this one on the bottom is the horizontal movement, right? The change in x is the horizontal movement. -3 means to go left 3. So from the y-intercept again, we're going to go up 1, left 3. And you can see, look, if I go up 1, let me just add another tick mark here. If I go up 1, and let me extend this a little bit. If I go up 1 and left 3 you can see is aligned here. So left 3 will be somewhere right here. And you can see, look, my line still goes through that same point. So it doesn't matter which one you make negative because you will end up in the same exact line either way.